What's up, guys? Movie Junkie for Life, and continuing on our look back at 2018. I did my best of, so wanted to get the good stuff out the way before I dragged you guys down into the pit of revisiting some god awful films that we got in 2018. Some of them were some of them were truly disappointing, and some of them we don't even know how it got made in the first place. Let's take a look at the worst of 2018, or at least my worst of 2018. And of course, I'm going to do a few honorable mentions like I did with my best of, and quickly go through those with you guys before we touch on the actual list. So, honorable mentions. We have, or maybe dishonorable might be the better thing to say. Overboard, I Feel Pretty, Proud Mary, which was kind of disappointing. Mortal Engines, which by the trailer you could tell what it is, but you kind of go in hoping that you're wrong. In this case, I wasn't. Mile 22, or Mark Wahlberg plays a dick. And The Nun, which, why even bother if you're gonna give people something this generic? I mean, we've evolved beyond jump scares, haven't we? This was a no-go for me. So from my top 10, I will start with number 10, 50 Shades Freed. And yes, it's low down on my list because if you've seen my review of this movie, I'm a completionist, so even though you know they're gonna be terrible, I watched all of the 50 Shades films, and at this point when I'd seen Freed, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna own it. I'm gonna enjoy this for the terrible film it is. Some friends of mine, we actually get together. We have something we call the BML, the Bad Movie Lime. And for those not in the know, liming is Trini slang for hanging out. So we pick a bad movie or two and we subject ourselves to picking it apart and watching it. Because it's always easier to watch crappy movies with friends, right? So 50 Shades Freed, I have accepted the crap that this movie is. And because of that, I don't know if enjoy as you would, but I can take it for what it is and just let it happen, which is what I did with this film. So it's low down on my list because I really didn't expect anything at all from it, and that's what I got. Number 9, I have Pacific Rim Uprising. Now this one, I kind of knew it was gonna go off the rails the rails when it lost Guillermo del Toro. I for one really liked the first Pacific Rim film. I felt like the way he shot it, the way he told the story, the way the robots moved in terms of their size, everything worked. It was a visual feast for the eyes, so to speak. This, I don't know what this is. This felt like a sci-fi movie of the week with a multi-million-dollar budget. This was terrible. The acting was terrible. The characters, if you can call them that, were nothing. And the robots just felt like rejects from a Power Rangers. Much better looking Power Rangers episode, but Power Rangers no less. And nothing about this film is worth seeing. With that said, number 8, Robin Hood. Another film where I was kind of hoping, but didn't really care one way or the other. Nothing. This is one where I think I need to blame the director and the screenplay, because the actors involved are all top notch. They've all given us much better performances in other movies. This is just a mess of a movie that doesn't know what genre it wants to be or what story it wants to tell. The costumes make no sense. The action makes no sense. It has a few standout moments, and that's about it. This is a letdown. So I don't know what this is, but this wasn't a story about Robin Hood. My number 7, The Cloverfield Paradox. I feel bad even calling this the Cloverfield Paradox, because you just feel like they slapped that Cloverfield label onto this movie. This was such a slap in the face for moviegoers and fans of the Cloverfield series alike, because you get the feeling that it started off as one thing and they were like, you know what, if we put the word Cloverfield in there, we'd get people to watch it. They sell it to Netflix. They pulled on a bunch of viewers because I think they showed the trailer for it like like the day or a few hours before they actually showed the movie or some kind of thing like that. So they piqued people's interest and they tricked you into watching this mess of a film. And you could tell that most of this has absolutely nothing to do with the original Cloverfield, and it was just cut and edited and probably reshot with a couple pieces here and there to connect it. It's a waste, it's terrible, and don't even bother. My number 6. Death Wish. I don't know what to say about this. You know what? Some people are gonna like this movie for what it is, I think. For me, this is Bruce Willis probably had a car loan he need to pay off. The original Death Wish is such a dark, dismal look at revenge and what revenge can do to you, and that road that you take and there's no coming back from that. Charles Bronson's character is actually sympathetic in that. This is just a guy who has an excuse to kill. Maybe he was always a psychopath on the down low, and that what happens to his wife just gives him an excuse to go out there murdering. He shows no remorse. There's nothing about him that's sympathetic. Just, guys, go watch the original Death Wish instead. Then I have my number 5. We're getting up there, the Happy Time Murders. And I have to say this one was disappointing for me. I love anything to do with puppets and Muppets. I think they're hilarious when they're used correctly. And I was hoping with the R rating that this would have been some funny R-rated puppet shenanigans. That's not what I got. I barely laughed while I was watching it. I think I may have grinned here and there, but that was it. This took itself way too seriously for what it is. I think that's what they were going for, like puppets in the real world, so everything has to be taken in a real world manner, and it doesn't work. It needed to be more over the top. It needed to laugh at itself more, and it failed me, so to speak. Number 4, Truth or Dare. I feel like this movie was made just to sell an app, a Snapchat filter. It's just so stupid. I've seen it done better. There's actually another film, I think it was released on Sci-Fi's channel like the year before with the same exact name. Go watch that. Much, much better film. At least that one tries. This one is just nothing. The characters are not likable, and I really don't care anything about it. I feel like somebody lost a bet to make this movie. My number 3 is gonna be Winchester. This one, again, with the caliber of actors that was involved in this and what the story is about, I was really hoping for a lot more. Helen Mirren, I think she is trying to give us something with this character, but you could tell there's not much there on paper. The Winchester house, you know, is arguably one of the more fascinating houses built out there, more fascinating stories. It's very much like Stephen King. If you've ever read Rose Red or you've seen this story built on that. I was just hoping for more, and this was a lot of CG and horror never really works for me, and it just, at the end of the day, it's just another generic horror movie. My number 2, Skyscraper. Now, this is where I'm starting to feel like maybe, just maybe, Dwayne Johnson is taking on too much. And I think he might be burning himself out with these types of films. While Jumanji was entertaining, and I guess Rampage was also entertaining, Skyscraper was a slew of ideas ripped off from other films that were done better in other films, like The Towering Inferno and Die Hard and all these different things. It just felt like a shiny turd of a movie that you're better off watching at home when you have absolutely nothing to do than spending your time in cinema. I don't care how well visually spectacular it looks, it's nothing. It's all icing and no cake. And my number 1 worst movie of 2018, The Predator. And the reason this is my number 1 is very simply, shame on you, Shane Black. you could have given us a much better film than this, considering where you come from and the pedigree of films you put out before this. And by where you come from, I mean you starred in the original movie. You're supposed to have more love and more understanding for this for the Predator franchise on the whole. So Predators is still my favorite in the sequels. Predator 1 and then Predators. I don't care what anybody says, because this was a mess. This and that ending, what the hell is that? Was that a leftover idea from Iron Man 3? This movie is just a no-go. There's a slew of fun ideas in there, but that's about it. And this was my biggest disappointment of 2018. And that's it, guys. Try to do it as quickly as possible, considering how many movies we had to talk about. But that's my worst of 2018. If you guys have seen any of these, let me know what are your worst of 2018. Give me your top 3 or your top 5. Or if you think anything on my list wasn't really that bad, let me know why you liked it. It's always good to hear another opinion of these things, because sometimes you go back and you watch a film and you realize, you know what? I'm watching it with different eyes because I've heard this about it, and I get it. I see what they're talking about. If you like this video, please feel free to hit that like button. It's very much appreciated. If you want to subscribe to my channel, you can click on my face over there. And let's go 2019. And I hope 2019 has it like 2018. I felt like 2018 had a slew of fantastic films and not that many bad films, at least not on a large budget scale of bad. So I hope 2019 is like that too. And until next time, guys, bye bye.